On Osrc News at 7, Amotekun enforces Okada ban in Ondo State to combat crime. Senate Deputy President condoles with families of lynched travelers, donates 60 million naira. And from the foreign scene, Philippines sends humanitarian aid to Myanmar amid deadly earthquake. Good evening and welcome to the news. My name is Remy Allen. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark World Autism Awareness Day, the spotlight is on the need for greater inclusion and understanding of individuals on the autism spectrum. Experts are emphasizing the importance of patience and support in creating a society where people with autism can thrive. Speaking on the significance of the day, Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, called on Nigerians to show more care and compassion towards those. Stress the need to provide opportunities that will help them maximize their potential. Autism advocacy groups are also pushing for policies that ensure better access to education, healthcare, and employment for individuals living with autism. Financial experts have described the recent increase in the National Youth Service Corps NYSC allowance from 33,000 to 77,000 naira as a welcome development that is expected to have a significant impact on the economy. They said rise in disposable income among corps members will lead to increased consumer spending on goods and services, ultimately stimulating local economic growth and development. OSRC's Abidemi Akirotoye reports.
The federal government decision to raise the NYSC monthly allowance to 77,000 naira represents a substantial increase in stipend for corps members. This change is expected to positively impact the economy as corps members will now have more disposable income to spend on goods and services. Contrary to common assumptions that an increase in allowances would drive up the prices of goods and services, recent market surveys suggest otherwise. Business owners in Akure have noted that the increment in corps members' allowances has not triggered a price hike as the cost of items had already surged before the implementation of new allowance.
Owó tó bá wọn kọ́pà ló jẹ́ kí nǹkan wọ́n nǹkan tí wọ́n ọ̀rẹ́dì tẹ́lẹ̀ táwọn èèyàn ti ẹ̀rí mánéjì níṣòwò àwọn kọ́pà nǹkan tí wọ́n tẹ́lẹ̀ à ń bẹ Ọlọ́run kó jẹ́ kí gbogbo nǹkan wálẹ̀ lọ́la àwọn oúnjẹ dẹ̀ wọ́n bẹ̀ tí ń sìn bá dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ oúnjẹ tí ń wálẹ̀ díẹ̀ díẹ̀.
Ọjà wọn sí o, ọjà wọn sí, ọjà ti já ń já padà ní ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ra ọjà dáadáa.
Meanwhile, residents are appealing to business owners and landlords to refrain from raising prices and rent, particularly for corps members. This move, they said, would ensure that they fully benefit from their increased stipend without being burdened by higher living costs.
We are just appealing to them that they should not because of this increment, increase their house rent. We are just appealing that because anytime government increase wages, maybe for workers, for copper, we see food stuff coming up, goods coming up, house rent coming up. In my own view, I know they will start increasing the house rent, but we are just appealing to them as a good citizen of Nigeria. They should not, because of this increment, increase the house rent.
Economist Olaoluwa Bankole shared his insight, emphasizing that the increment in NYSC allowance will have a stimulating effect on the economy.
The implication of the 77,000 new allowance for corps member is that it's going to increase consumption it's going to increase consumption of the core members. So it then means that they have more money to buy things that hitherto they could not afford. And so in a way, that will stimulate the economy. It will stimulate the economy, and of course, it will also reduce the gap between the rich and the poor, that is inequality in income. It's going to reduce inequality in incomes. You agree with me that yes, some people even,
to mitigate the effect of inflation.
and I also want to encourage the core member themselves that they should not even, with this 77,000 naira, they should still plan to save. We know that the economy is very, very hard, but notwithstanding that, they should still plan to save so that at least at the end of the service year, they can still have something to follow upon.
Financial prudence is crucial, as increased disposable income could lead to higher demand for goods and services. Core members are encouraged to prioritize their needs over wants, adopt budgeting strategies, and consider saving or investing in skills that will be beneficial after the service year.
That report was presented by Runke Kolawole from our studio. The management and staff of NNPC Limited have welcomed the newly appointed Group Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Bayo Ojulari. The Edo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja has dismissed the petition filed by the Action Alliance and Adekunle Omwaje against the election of Governor Monday Ikweolo, the All Progressives Congress, and the Independent National Electoral Commission. In its judgment, the three-member tribunal struck out the petition, describing it as lacking merit and frivolous. Action Alliance and Omaje had challenged Ekpeholo's victory in the September 21, 2024 governorship election, alleging corrupt practices and non-compliance with the Electoral Act. They argued that the APC candidate did not secure the majority of lawful votes and that INEC's declaration of Ekpeholo as governor. You're welcome back. For more news updates, you can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Undo. Moving ahead, as part of efforts to reduce crime in Ondo State, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has ordered full enforcement of a ban on Okada riders' operations from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. He also ordered that unregistered vehicles be impounded to check activities of unscrupulous persons. The state commander of Amotekun Corps, Chief Adetunji Adeleye, announced this in Akure while parading the suspects who were apprehended across the state in the last 2 weeks. Joy Pius reports.
While many Okada riders are law-abiding citizens earning a living, some have been linked to criminal activities. The flexibility, speed, and anonymity that motorcycles provide make them attractive for criminals. Several security reports and police investigations have revealed how Okada riders participate in or facilitate crimes across Nigeria. This apparently informed the decision of Ondo State government to again restrict operations of the commercial motorcyclists.
I'm only re-emphasizing the fact that the government remains resolute in enforcing security of lives and property. And our statistics shows that more than 65% of criminal activities are being perpetrated by riders of unlicensed and licensed Okada riders in the night. So the corps is being mandated to enforce to the letter from 8 p.m. It was 6 p.m. before. But you now have a listening government that listens to the yearning and aspirations of the good people of Ondo State, that it be extended to 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning. It's only those on essential duties that are exempted, and you must carry your ID card.
Chairman Amotekun Corps Adetunji Adeleye also said 61 suspects were paraded in the last few weeks. According to the security chief, 28 suspected human traffickers were arrested following a tip-off from one of the Ghanaian victims who escaped from captivity.
We equally have a syndicate that were able to break their ranks. It's a 28-man syndicate that specializes in kidnapping, human trafficking, and rustling. They invite unsuspecting members of the public that they want to help them procure US visa. And once they come in, they collect money from them. Some of them $2,000, some of them $1,500, and kidnap them and house them in order. And the only condition under which they leave the place is to bring another set.
On other security measures, the Amotekun commander said owners of unregistered vehicles have been given 1 week ultimatum to register their vehicles, adding that it has been discovered that motorcycles and unregistered cars are being used to perpetrate crimes in the state.
The era of the use of unlicensed vehicles plying the road has ended. This is because majority of these evil perpetrators goes around with fake dealer numbers, fake number plates, and majority of them with unlicensed vehicles.
Adeleye warned against influx of criminal elements into the state's forests, disguising as hunters, saying nobody without the state government's permission would be allowed to enter forests in the state. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
In the meantime, the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, has urged states and relevant authorities to step up enforcement of road safety regulations, particularly regarding truck standards and driver behavior. The FRSC spokesman, Olusegun Ogungbemide, made the statement in an interview in Abuja. He expressed concerns over the poor condition of tracks on Nigerian roads, citing issues like poor vehicle maintenance, speeding, and disregard for traffic regulations as contributing factors to road accidents. Addressing concerns following the recent tanker crash was caused by a cement-laden Dangote truck. Ogungbemide warned that no safety policy can succeed without first addressing. He reaffirmed the FRSC's commitment to safer highways across the country. Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barry Jibrin, has visited Bunkwere local government area of Kano State, offering condolences and financial support to the families of the 16 travelers slain in Uromi, Eson North East local government area of Edo State. Barry met with the grieving families hailing from Bunkere, Kibia, Rano, at Takwa Mosque in Sabon Fegi, Bunkure local government area. A statement released by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the Deputy President of the Senate, Ismail Mudashir, the DSP assured the families of the deceased hunters that justice would be served, reiterating the perpetrators would face the full weight of the law. To alleviate the family's hardship, Senator Barrow announced a donation of 1 million naira to each of the 16 bereaved families, totaling 60 million naira. Speaking on behalf of the families, the chief imam of the area, Sheikh Zanu Abidina Awal, expressed and lauded him as a leader vital for the nation's progress. In the meantime, a Kaduna State Police officer, Aidina Hussein, threatens reprisal attack on the southerners living in northern Nigeria. Aidina's remark followed the brutal killing of 16 northerners in Urobi, Essen Northeast. Meanwhile, 14 suspects have been arrested with connection to the killing of the hunters from Kano State in Uromi. The suspects have been transferred to Abuja for further interrogations, as confirmed by Edo State Governor Monday Ekweolo. Governor Ekweolo condemned the attack as unacceptable and vowed that those responsible will face the full weight of the law. President Bola Tinubu has expressed deep grief over the passing of Alhaji Abbas Sanusi, the Galadima Kano, and a senior kingmaker in the Kano Emirates. Sanusi, who died at 92 after a prolonged illness, is survived by many children and grandchildren. As stated by Mr. His children is Alhaji Abdullahi Abbas, the Kano State Chairman of the All Progressives Congress. President Tinubu described the late Sanusi as a significant pillar of the traditional institution whose contributions to its survival and development would be remembered beyond the Kano Emirates and the state itself. The president extended its condolences to the government and people of Kano State, the Kano Emirate Council, and the family of late chief, offering prayers for the deceased soul to be granted peace in Jannatu Firdaus. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has announced the launch of Air Algeria's inaugural direct flight service from Algiers to Abuja, set to begin on April 6, 2025. This is set to strengthen the diplomatic and economic ties between Nigeria and Algeria. According to a statement signed by the acting spokesperson for the ministry, Kimeibi Ebenfa, the new route, which is the result of the bilateral air services agreement between the two countries, will be operated by the national carrier Air Algeria using a Boeing 737 aircraft. The inaugural flight is expected to carry the affairs of the Nigerian embassy in Algiers, Nigerian community leaders, and representatives from the Algerian government. The ministry encouraged citizens and businesses to take advantage of this new connectivity to explore opportunities for trade, tourism, and cultural exchanges between the two nations. China has launched a new round of military exercises around Taiwan in its latest warning to the island's democratic government. The Chinese military said on Tuesday that the drills served as a powerful deterrent to separatist forces advocating Taiwanese independence. Taiwan's presidential office said it strongly condemned China's action, while its defense ministry announced it had deployed military vessels and aircraft to monitor the drills. China considers Taiwan a self-ruled democracy, part of its territory, and has pledged to take control of the island by force if necessary. Blessing Obe has details.
The Eastern Theater Command says it is closing in on the island from multiple directions, sending a clear message to its democratically elected government. Any push for independence will lead to war.
Their exercise sends a stern warning to the Taiwan authorities. The more they pursue their separatist agenda, the further the People's Liberation Army will advance its actions.
China believes Taiwan is a breakaway province and has not ruled out the use of force to get it back. Beijing says its leader is a separatist and released propaganda videos calling him a parasite who is poisoning Taiwan. Lai referred to China as a hostile foreign force last month and says Taiwanese people should be free to decide their own fate.
China openly challenges the international order and is widely recognized by the international community as a troublemaker.
Taiwan's military responded by dispatching its own fighter jets. Its navy is tracking the Chinese fleet of more than 10 ships, including aircraft carrier Shandong. Beijing's ramping up of military deals against Taipei includes sending fighter jets and war vessels towards the island nearly every day. Taipei believes the exercise are a show of strength that channeled both Taiwan and the United States. U.S. Defense Chief Pete Hicks visited Asia last week and said the U.S. would work with regional allies to counter what he described as Chinese aggression. In a statement, the American Institute in Taiwan said it will continue to support the island and has called the Chinese drills irresponsible threats. Blessing Obi, Osrc News.
Myanmar has raised the death toll from last week's devastating earthquake to more than 2,000. The country's military-led government announced on Monday that the casualty count have grown to 2,056 people with a further 3,900 injured and declared a week-long mourning period. More countries are sending help to Myanmar, including China, Russia, and Asian nations. Adirunke Kolawole completes the story.
From one disaster-prone country to another, these men and women from the Philippines are taking their best experience in responding to natural calamities in Myanmar, where a magnitude 7.7 earthquake has caused widespread damage and people are desperate to find missing loved ones.
So this is a one way for us to showcase our capability, especially to help those who are in need in a foreign land.
Myanmar's government has issued a rare appeal for international help as poorly equipped search and rescue workers are struggling to pull people out of the rubble. Many other countries have responded, including China, Russia, and neighbors in the region. The United States, which has cut foreign aid funding, significantly says it is in the process of sending help.